All right, this is the video for the Technic Step 1. And I suggest only doing this after you've started pattern step 3. And that's because you're using what you learned in that pattern step. So you're in a scale picture, which you will have learned about in the pattern steps. Note, whole, whole, half. Note, whole, half. And there's a whole step joining the hands, no thumbs. Because we have 8 notes in our scale, so we're going to have 8 fingers. Thumbs are our more awkward guys to have to position, so we're just going to get rid of them. Now, all you're doing here is just reinforcing what you're already learning with your pattern step, where you're trying to grab in the circle of fifths, all those scale pictures. And you don't have to have mastered those yet to start this, but here's all it looks like. We're exaggerating the motion of our fingers. I'm keeping this note down while I lift the next note, and my 4 is connected to my 5 in my body, so he's not going to lift very high, but I still lift him and try not to lift the other fingers. And then I switch, so I let go of that one as I push this one down. That's legato, is smooth and connected. It's like walking. We're going to keep that foot down until the next one comes down, but we're just really lifting our legs if we're using that example. Because we're trying to just really stretch those fingers to give the full range of motion possible. And then between the hands, it's a little easier. So this lift and switch, lift and switch, lift and switch. So you ask, why not just play this? Well, you totally can. All I found is that if you push with your arm, maybe you don't, maybe you're an adult and you already understand how to move this really well, and you feel like you have a good range of motion, maybe you don't need to spend as much time exaggerating. But if you find that it's hard for you to lift each finger like that, in that way, or if you find you have to lift all of them, you can't hold on to them, can't make a legato where you hold and then switch. Right when that one is let go, this one steps in, just like walking, If that's difficult for you, you might want to do this. It's actually, we're practicing this slow so that we can play faster. Now, eventually, we want to be able to play really quickly. And I can't do that if I'm pumping with my arm. My arm doesn't move that fast. So I have to be able to have the dexterity to move my fingers. And the motion is really even more inward when we go fast, if you can tell. I'm kind of pulling him in, right? So there's other things you'll do in your lesson to even emphasize that more, but it begins with an ability to lift each finger individually. So with every scale, so then we'll go up a fifth, practice G, lift, switch, lift, switch, lift, switch, legato, and forte, meaning really loud. Play the top note twice, so our pinky gets, our 5 gets as many turns as everyone else, and go up a fifth, so now we're on D, so I went up a fifth, but really down a 4th, because I didn't want to keep traveling up the piano. It's not a race. Doing them fast isn't really helpful at this point. We want to develop strength, legato. So here's what it would sound like if I wasn't playing legato. I'm not interested in staccato right now. Just legato, forte, and then reinforcing. This is another way, besides your up and down the keys scale pictures, this is another way to emphasize those. Then after D, I would go to A. That's probably as fast as I would ever go at this stage. Up a fifth to E. Stop the video and practice now, but I'll continue for those that want to see all of them. So after E, I would go up to B, but I'm going to play this B. Up a fifth to F sharp, or you could, you could think of it as G flat. Back on B, you could think of that that is C flat. There is a key signature of C flat major that has 7 flats. C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat. Okay, so now we're at F sharp or G flat, which we did. And then after that we go up a fifth to C sharp, which is also D flat. We'll play it down here. Up a fifth to A flat. Flat. Up a fifth to B flat. Up a fifth to F. If you can go through those at the same tempo I did and quickly find those patterns just like I did, and you're playing legato and forte and smooth and connected, you know you have it mastered. Now, one note, while I do say this is the first step, then do the next, then do the next, it is, on some of these, they're going to take a long time. You could maybe spend a year mastering that step, and I don't want you to wait to go to step 2. So just make sure you've started this step before you start the next one. And then you can go on when you're ready. You could do maybe 4 technique steps at a time, 4 pattern steps at a time. The reading steps might, not have so many that you'll be juggling at once, but it's up to you how many you do at one time. Just learn them in this order, but you don't have to master one before you go on to the next.